Hi, I'm LaneDude08. This is my coming out story / it gets better message. For my whole life, I've known I was gay, and I grew up in a Christian background, so obviously those two didn't mix. When those two come together at that point, there's a lot of rage that comes with it. The rage of knowing that I was different. But I thought I could get cured. I just never told anybody, though. When I was in school, everybody in a way knew I was gay. And either nobody said anything, or they tried to do something. I remember one kid tried to out me in a very horrible way. I don't remember what it was, but I just remember the devastation that followed. After that event, I pretty much just became a zombie through the rest of my school years. I didn't speak, didn't talk, didn't want anyone to get any hint that I was gay. I saw another kid who was openly gay get treated horribly. He got sexually harassed, and I think the last I heard is that he had to be homeschooled because his parents pulled him out because he couldn't take it anymore. So I pretty much just kept my mouth shut right up until my senior year. And I had these friends of mine, and one of them was bi, and I told her that I was bi too, even though I was gay, but I didn't want to completely accept the fact that I was gay. So, at least I had that group of friends when I was in high school. I could tell that people still said things behind my back. I don't know if anybody remembers it from high school now, but so there were times whenever I heard somebody say something behind my back about me being gay, and hurt a lot, but what can you do? Not my friends. They were still always behind me, and they knew, and I was glad. But then after high school, I kind of drifted away from them, and I wound up finding myself in something called the furry fandom. I thought it was at first just this little internet community where everyone posted their artwork for animals and animal-like humans, but it turned out later that it was a lot more than that. It was an actual lifestyle, sort of a subgenre of the homosexuality. And I thought it just existed on the internet because that's where I mainly knew it from. But I stayed with it anyways, because I was hoping for at least some sort of peace of mind, because I hadn't told anybody else in my family, hadn't told anybody. I eventually met this guy on this fandom that was twice my age, and we decided we were going to be boyfriend and boyfriend. So I was really excited because the one thing I've been waiting for my whole life, I finally got it. And the day he was going to come down, he lived in Kansas, and the day he was going to come down to see me in Oklahoma, he actually came out to my grandmother in a roundabout way, and she told me, "I'd rather you be gay than you have a terminal illness or something that would keep you from living your life." And I was really grateful for that. That night when the guy came, one thing led to another, and I lost my virginity. And the next day, I don't know what happened. I just sort of lost my shit. I had a breakdown because I was scared of him leaving, because I thought to myself I'd have to go back to that life that I was once in, that life that I couldn't stand, being in silence and being scared all the time, scared that I might get kicked out, and scared of a lot of other things. But when I got home that night, I found out my mother had found out about my little fling, and she wasn't the most supportive woman. She made me feel a lot worse, actually. I don't think she meant to, but she did. She kept saying that, how could you do this to me? You know, just things that didn't necessarily help the situation. And I will honestly say that that is the closest I've ever come to committing suicide that night. But I didn't, because I wanted to see how the story ends. In a way, I actually thought that the devastation was just the beginning of another chapter, another book of my life. And, you know, I wanted to see how it ends. You don't want to put down a book before you finish the ending, most of the time. I wouldn't. You shouldn't either. And I'm glad I did finally come out, because I met a lot of great friends. I met some really great people I wouldn't trade for the world. It still is hard for me to come out to people, because for some, you know, there's that feeling when you come out to somebody, it's like a gunshot going off in your chest, because you're waiting for the reaction of how people are going to, you know, respond to you. And it's hard, but there's just an extreme amount of relief after doing it. You know, an intense amount of relief. I mean, I've grown a lot since those events that led me to realize who I was, who I am, and who I will always be. I won't lie when I say that it's a bit of a struggle sometimes, because some people can just accept it and that'd be the end of it. And some people, it's a one day at a time ordeal. You know, when you grow up your whole life thinking that you're a disease and that you're not meant to be alive, it's, you know, a one day at a time ordeal. But I've come far with it, and there's still some rage within me because we're still being treated differently. But, you know, I wouldn't trade being gay for anything else, because, yeah, there are struggles, but struggles build character. They make you who you are and bring out your potential, and you realize that there's a lot more to live for in this life. And once you finally come out being gay, you realize that there is an entirely new world, that you can finally join the rest of the world. Because you can join the rest of the world when you come out. The people who hate you and despise you for being who you are, they are the ones that stay behind, not you. There is so much more open-mindedness that comes with coming out. There's so much more things that I would have never known if I would have stayed in the closet. You know, don't deny who you are, because there is some pain, you know, now, but I'd rather have the pain of one day at a time finally accepting it than than staying silent for the rest of my life. Silence is not golden in this case. You are who you are, and it does get better. You'll learn a lot, you'll make more friends, and you will get a happy ending. You may have to work at it a little bit, but we do get happy endings. Don't close the book before you see the ending. Just hang in there, because there's a lot to live for. Thanks for listening.